The confusing tax of VAT. Have you wondered what the VAT rates are? Follow my video and I'll explain more. If you haven't yet, click the bell and subscribe to be notified every time we produce our best pieces of content. Out of all of the taxes, a lot of our clients that I work with find VAT really confusing, and that's with the basics. Now, on top of this, you've also got different VAT rates. So if you're confused or don't quite understand what the different rates are of VAT, follow my video and I'll explain more. The standard rate of VAT currently in the UK is 20%, but there are times in my working life where it's been different. So I remember times when it was at 15, and I also remember when I first started my career, it was 17.5%. So VAT doesn't always stay at the same rate forever, it can change. So make sure that if your services or products do qualify for standard rated, make sure you're keeping up to date with the current regulations. Some VAT rates have a different classification. So it is possible as well to charge 0%, which is known as zero rated VAT, on services. So things that can be zero rated are a lot of foods, also children's clothing, but also there are other things as well. So new build houses from scratch have zero rated VAT attached to them. So again, make sure that you understand what your customers and your services classifications are to make sure that you are charging the right VAT rate. Now, zero rated is excellent because it allows you to charge 0% on your income and reclaim back all of your costs. So if you are a construction company, you get to claim back all the VAT on your costs, big refunds, which helps your cash flow within your business and increase profit. So what is your classifications within your business, and are you making opportunities around zero rated VAT? Now, there are also reduced rates of VAT, and there's some which is 5%. So 5% can be for some energy costs, it can also be for some children's products, but these do vary. Now, the benefit of this as well is 5% VAT is significantly lower than 20%. So it gives you an opportunity to charge less, but reclaim back all of your costs that have full rated VAT. Another classic for this in the construction industry is if there's a conversion. And now conversions have strict rules, which is a separate video, but if they're adhered to, you can charge them 5% on your income and reclaim back all of the VAT on their materials. Now that can add up to a sizable amount of money and increase the profitability of your job. Are you completely aware of what your project is, your service or your product, so you are making sure that if you are physically allowed to, you are only charging 5% VAT. I think this is really powerful. Now, one thing that's easy to get confused with as well is items that are exempt. Now, exempt means in layman's terms, they're completely separate. They're not included in VAT at all. It's outside on a different planet. Now, items which are exempt can be financial services, it can be insurance products. And if they're classified separately, you cannot reclaim back any costs on that at all. Now, one problem that people make mistakes with a lot is they get exempt and zero rated completely confused. Yes, I know that you don't charge VAT on either, but don't forget one of them has a 0% charge. So the one that's zero rated, you'll be able to claim your VAT on your expenses, as I explained earlier in this video, but if it's exempt, you can't claim at all. Now, one thing that gets a bit gloopy sometimes is if you've got a business that has exempt suppliers, but also standard rating suppliers. This falls into a different classification, which is partial exemption, where you have to do a specific calculation to work out exactly what input VAT, which is VAT on your costs, you can physically claim. It's a bit of a yucky calculation. I don't come across it a lot, but it is out there. So if in your business you've got exempt suppliers and standard rated, make sure you're keeping in mind a partial exemption, because you won't be able to claim all of the VAT back on your costs. So don't get 0% VAT and exempt mixed up, because they are just different. You don't have to know all these rules in your head. I don't either. So if I'm dealing with a business that I haven't dealt with that industry for quite a while, or I've never dealt with it at all, I will physically go and find out what their product and service is and the classification for VAT. A classic is opticians, who have a more detailed calculation for the way that they claim VAT back. It's just the rules. So even me, when I'm looking at new businesses for the first time, don't know all the answers. make sure you research it, or make sure you've got an advisor that genuinely knows what they're doing, so you don't get so you don't have problems that come down the line that blow up. You've got a low chance of risk, and if you got investigated by HMRC, you would say to them, there you go, there's the calculation, please feel free to check it while I go and make you a cup of tea. There are some times where there could be one-offs where there'll be a separate VAT rate. So in the recent times we've lived through COVID, so in the hospitality industry, they had an opportunity to charge 12.5% VAT. This doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. So make sure that you are keeping an eye on the tax affairs that are coming up to date, or you've got a really good accountant that really understands your business that is telling you this has changed and we need to make that change within our business. So make sure you've got a finger on the pulse so you know what's happening all the time, because these one-off incidents that happen, like the 12% VAT on hospitality, happens and now it's gone, but things change. So make sure you're keeping abreast of all of the legislation to keep up to date so you're not coming a cropper later down the line. Now I hope this video has really helped, but if you've got any further questions, see my calendar link below, book a call. We'll have a telephone call or a Zoom. I'll take on board any questions and you won't have to listen to my cringy sales pitch. It's just here to help.